What day is it? Short rib taco day. Chili braised short rib with mango and pickled onion salsa with cotija cheese. Oh yeah.
The best tacos I've ever made.
First order of business, braising liquid. You need 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of guajillo chili powder, 1 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder. If you don't have the chilies that I use in here, just use chili powder. I'll be a little mad, but it'll be okay. 1 teaspoon of coriander, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of true cinnamon, 3 bay leaves, a teaspoon of salt, and 37 peppercorns. Yes, you have to count them. Toss all that spice on high heat and don't walk away because you just want to give it a quick toast until you can smell the spices. Then add 4 cups of good beef stock and leave it on low to heat up to a simmer. Next, hack up a carrot, 2 onions, and 4 cloves of garlic and set those aside. Okay, for short rib, we've got a chuck flat here. It's a part of the short rib that has a big boneless chunk of meat. And I'm not going to trim a ton of the fat off. I just want to get a couple of the really large chunks of pure fat. You can ask your butcher to do that as well. Next, season. So we want a really nice coating of salt and pepper all the way around on all of the sides of the short rib. Don't be shy here. Grab yourself a heavy oven-safe pot that's roughly the size of your meat. You don't want it much bigger, otherwise you gotta make more of this liquid. Heat the pot over medium heat until it's nice and hot. Add a little bit of oil. Place the chuck flat in there to sear. And if you got a Dutch oven, that's the way to go. Then take your time here. You want a deep brown crust. Don't go too hot, and let it go until you have the thick crust. Now repeat the same thing on 3 sides until it looks like it does here. Probably about 8 minutes per side. Now set that beast aside and toss your vegetables into the same pan. Give them about 5 minutes to soften up and get some color, and then deglaze the pan with a 1/4 cup of red wine. Now nestle that big boy back in there with the vegetables and pour your hot braising liquid over it. Gotta be hot, like boiling hot. Otherwise it will take forever to heat up in the oven and it'll add like an hour to the cooking time. Doesn't need to cover completely, but you don't want a ton sticking out. So if you're a little short on liquid, you can top it up with boiling water. Now seal that bad boy in and toss it into a 325-degree oven for 2.5 hours. And don't forget to light your cloth on fire on the element. Again. 2.5 hours later. Beautiful. Now pull that out and just let it cool down in its sauce. Don't touch it. While that's cooling, we're gonna make some salsa. Mango salsa to be specific. So first off, you're gonna take a cup of mango chunks. You can use frozen like I did here or fresh if you have them. 1/4 inch dice the mangoes. Mix in a 1/4 cup of pickled onions, minced. 1 clove of garlic, minced. And you can do this on a microplane here. It's a cool cheat if you don't want to dirty your cutting board. Juice half a lime. And a 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro. 2 tablespoons of green onions, and then half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of chili powder. I used pasilla here, but you can use whatever. Half a teaspoon of salt, and some hot sauce. Whatever you got is good. I like this chipotle one. You can use Valentina's or whatever you got. About a teaspoon. So this short rib, you can either chuck it in the fridge as is, right in its pot once it's cooled down a bit and use it the next day, or do what we're gonna do here and use it right when it's cooked. We're gonna strain out about a cup of the braising liquid and reduce it till it's like a thick glaze and coats the back of a spoon. While that's reducing, we're gonna take about half of our short rib, chop it into some nice bite-sized pieces, and once your glaze is reduced to the point where it'll coat the back of a spoon, toss that back into the reduced braising liquid while an attractive friend of yours cooks up some tortillas. And then we're gonna build it. First, our short rib glazed in braising liquid, a slice of fresh avocado, some mango salsa, and cotija cheese if you can get it. If not, grab feta, but cotija is really where it's at. And then garnish with a sprig of cilantro. We did it. That's it. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And now for some sexy short rib shots.